Okay, good morning, everyone. So it's already 9:05 and at least 60 have joined. So we'll start with today's class. Now, so today, before I start PHP, I would just like to say that we have already completed HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. We also saw some HTML5 features like geolocation, canvas, audio, video, and now we are ready to move on to our dynamic programming language, that is PHP. Now, there are several other languages which can be used for interacting with database or file or session, cookie, all those things. But PHP is quite a popular language for all those things. And let us I think as per my knowledge and experience, PHP is quite easy to learn. And so let us proceed. Okay, so PHP is a scripting language. So what is a scripting language? A language that can be directly executed. Okay, so usually many languages are there which need to be compiled first, converted to machine native code, and then they will be executed. So, but any scripting language, they are directly executed using an interpreter. So for PHP also, if you download PHP from internet, for like in Windows, there will be a php.exe, which is the interpreter. So that is the one which parses the PHP file and execute the tasks one by one. So PHP stands for hypertext preprocessor, and it's a scripting language. So there are many other scripting languages also, like Perl, Python, VBS script, ASP, JSP. So similarly, PHP is also a scripting language. Now, of course, a scripting language will be slower than the usual programming language that are compiled, because they are already converted to native machine code. But still, for web programming, it's fairly good. Now, with PHP, most of the databases are supported. So we have any SQL database like MySQL, MS SQL, Oracle. Then if you talk about NoSQL also, most of the databases are supported. I have only tried MongoDB, but otherwise other languages are, other databases are also supported. Now for PHP, there are some frameworks also, like Symfony and Zend, but we will go with the core PHP. So we won't be using any framework in this. The PHP we will use the extension .php for the PHP files. And so in a single page, we can write HTML, we can write PHP code, we can write a style, we can write scripts. So different languages we can write on a single web page. Now the question is that how do you understand that which is a script, which is CSS, which is HTML? So they all have a tag. So like a script tag is for JavaScript. For CSS, style tag is there, and there are so many HTML tags. So similarly, PHP also has a starting and ending enclosure for denoting the start of the PHP script and end of the PHP script. Now, last class on Friday, I was trying to demonstrate you that PHP can be integrated into, even in CSS part, we can write it in HTML. Similarly, using PHP, I can generate HTML and I can generate anything, script also, CSS also. So we'll see all those examples again. Okay, so let us start with, so let me write a first a small program. So for PHP, I am starting with this. Now, so for printing any statement on the screen, echo is used. So it will print any string. So echo hello pgdac. Done. So this is like our first hello world program. So starting PHP tag and then the uh, uh, echo statement for printing this string onto the screen. So let us see. So you can see it has printed the hello world. Now, suppose I want to print anything else like hi students. So there are two ways of doing. One way is I can write separate echo statements, and the second one is that I can use concatenation operator. So dot is a concatenation operator. Okay. So anyway, we'll see it later. So now you can see that the both are appearing in the same line. So I want to put them in different lines. So for that, I can add BR tag. So you remember BR tag is for line break in HTML. And I already told you that using a PHP file, we can print this HTML tags also. And they will function as if they were actually HTML tags. So now it comes into a next line. Now, similarly, we can do many things like I can use image. Okay, so this is just to demonstrate that I can create any HTML element using PHP. So like I am creating an image with source img/cdec.png and width 50. So the image has appeared. Now echo is apart from echo, we can use print and hi. And here itself, I will add a BR. So one more hi it has printed. So print can also be used for printing. Now most important part is one function is print underscore R. Okay. Now this print R, it not only prints any a string, it can also be used to print any object. So any class object can also be printed, as well as any array can be printed. Okay. So let me show you an example of array. We'll go in detail of array later. For now, just to show how print R works. So like so consider this is an array and I want to print this array. Okay, let's see. So you can see it has printed array like this. So array where 0th position apple is there, first position grapes is there, and second position orange is there. Okay, so in this way we can print array, and then once we know the position of every element, So in that case, after that we can start printing individually one by one. So this is used where, like, if I have a function which returns me an array, so before I want to print the array elements, just to visualize how the array is, I will use printer. uh, so first question is why dollar. We will get to these questions one by one. Okay, so one by one. So first question is like, why dollar variable. So dollar will go one by one. So basically for any variable, it will start with dollar symbol. Okay, so in PHP we do not write the data type like int, a string or float. We simply write the variable name, and every variable name will start with dollar. Okay, second thing is why r in print underscore r. So print underscore r is basically printing in a readable form. Okay, so r is for like readable form. So like for I am printing an array, and then it is showing like array and 0th position something, first position something, and second position something. So it is more for human readable form. Okay, rather than directly printing it. Now because it doesn't print. So printer is used for printing array, object, of course, a string also you can print. Echo is exclusive, echo and print are exclusively for strings. Okay, now coming on to variables. Is it a case sensitive language? Of course it is a case sensitive language. Okay, now next. Next question is, can we directly print the value of array without showing index? Can you let me complete? Can you let me teach? Everything will be covered. Okay, now, so forget the array. It was just to demonstrate how can we use print underscore r. Okay, now, so in PHP we do not, though there are variable types, but we do not explicitly declare the variable type. So like $a equal to 10. Okay, so it automatically interprets this variable as an integer. So there is a function var dump. So if I put var dump with $a, it will tell me the value as well as data type. So let us see this. So it is saying it is an integer and the value is 10. Okay, so suppose I say $b equal to okay, so I'm second variable I have taken $b equal to apple and var dump $b. So it is saying that it is a string of length 5 and value is apple. Okay, so in this way, though explicitly we do not write like this is an integer or this is a float or this is a string, we do not write that, but internally PHP understand the variables. Okay, now to comment, we use double slash for single line comment, or we can use slash asterisk for multi-line comment. So to comment multiple lines, we can use slash asterisk combination, or we can use for single line, we can use double slash. Okay, so this is done. Now, $A equal to hello. So this is one string, and then $B equal to DAC. So to print them simultaneously, we can use $A dot operator and $B. So dot is for concatenating, basically adding two strings. So let us see this. So hello DAC, and if you want any spacing, so in between again you will have to add either one single space like this, or you can use ampersand NBSP. So I can use single space. So hello DAC. Next, one function is PHP info. So usually it is used to see all the configuration of the web server and PHP. So if you want to see all the configurations, so we use this. Now this function is only for initial testing. It will not be used in your website. Okay, so it is only for checking the environment, checking the server detail, checking the PHP detail, database detail. Everything will be displayed using PHP info. So let us run this. Okay, so you can see that it is telling the information about the systems, build date, different commands, then Apache environment. Okay, so Apache environment, then header information, many other things, core information, curl, C type, date, DBA, DOM, EXIF, file info, hashing, what are the hashing supported, hashing engines, then JSON support, and MySQL. So if you want to check information regarding the server, uh, even it tells us where is our files located, like PHP file is located in /etc/php.ini. Okay, so for those kind of information, PHP info is used, but this is only for in the development process, testing process, not for in the production. It is not used for production. So till now, we can declare variable starting with dollar. We do not need to explicitly write the data type. Automatically, PHP will understand the data type. Strings as well as HTML tags can be directly printed using echo or print. For special types in more readable form, like array, object, we use print underscore R. For concatenation, we use dot operator. Var dump function is for telling the data type and the data value. And finally, PHP info, which is used for displaying server information, PHP, MySQL, Apache, all those information. Okay. Now in PHP, the usual increment decrement, like $A++, and if we want to print $a, so the usual increment and decrement operators are supported here also. So so it will print the value 11. So this is increment and decrement, and similarly I can use it for hyphen hyphen. So that is there. Now in PHP we can write functions. There are so many already inbuilt functions. So we'll go through some of the imported functions later on. But for now, just understand that there are so many inbuilt functions in PHP which can be used for taking up many difficult tasks. Otherwise, also you can declare your own function. Okay, so function keyword is there, and then you can write like get sum or calculate sum. And then parameters also we can pass. So like dollar num1 and dollar num2, and then curly braces. And inside that I can declare like dollar sum equal to dollar num1 plus dollar num2, and then I can print it. So either I can print it here or I can return also. So this is how we calculate. If I want to call this, I will simply use calculate sum and then the two values which I want to calculate. So like 5,7. Okay. So function keyword is there, and then name of the function, any parameter if you want to add it to, then simply do all the calculation, either print it here or return. So like if I am printing here, let us see. So for calling the function we use calculate, directly the name of the function and then the variables that need to be passed. So it will print the value. Otherwise we can return also. So for return, simply write return dollar sum. Okay, and in that case here I will write dollar result equal to calculate sum, and then I will print that result, dollar result. Okay, so first we saw directly printing in the function itself, second is returning the value, and since it is returning the value, I am assigning that value to a dollar result and then printing that result. So it will give me the same value. So this is for functions. Now all the operators like plus, minus on the integer, addition, multiplication, subtraction, it is same as any other language. So I can show you as many as 7 minus 5, 5 plus 7, 5 into 7, but that will unnecessarily take our time. With this example itself, I think you can understand that we can perform any operation. Okay, next. So in PHP, as our usual language, if else is there. So like here itself, I can put if in the bracket dollar result is greater than 10. then echo uh, result more than 10, else echo result less than 10, something like that, just for demo purpose. So I can put a if a statement on the result itself and then check what is the output that it is giving. So result is more than 10, and if I change it to 2, so it will give me result is less than 10. So this if else statement can be used. This if else statement can be used for evaluating any condition. So if there are multiple conditions, then you can use else if. So it is similar to any other programming language that you would have used. So if, then condition, curly braces. If there is only a single statement, you can skip the curly braces, no problem. But if you have multi-line statement in the if or else, then you have to add the curly brace loop. So this is if condition. Similarly, we have switch condition, that is also similar to uh, other programming language like switch and then the variable and then what different values that variable can take. Okay, so that will be in the cases. So like switch and then n or any variable $a suppose, and then I can write case zero echo 0, case 5 echo more than 0, more than 0. So uh, break is used for breaking outside of the condition. Just a minute. So break is used for breaking out of the this case, and then you can use default. So default means if any case is not true, then default case will be executed. So echo default. Okay, so and then suppose I set a value $a equal to 7. So in this case, it is not matching with 0, not matching with 5, so it should go to default. So it is going to the default case. Let me comment this. So now it is going to default case. So similarly, you can operate on multiple things. So like one case is like timing. So depending on what is the timing, you have to greet the a user. So like in morning, good morning, then afternoon period, good afternoon, evening. So you can check a condition based on the time and then greet the user. Okay, so that is one use case for this switch statement. Of course, you can use a multi-line if-else loop for achieving this switch statement. Now, next thing is array. Okay, so I'll move on to another page. Array. So array. So any other languages you have learned that if there are few variables like 2, 3, 4, 5, or even 10, 12 integer values, then I can declare separate variable for them, like dollar num1, dollar num2, up to dollar num10 or 12. But if there are many variables and all are of the same data type, then we should use array. Okay, so it will be a more efficient way of writing code and handling it as well. Okay, so uh, suppose that I am storing the um, imply database, and there are like thousands of imply in CDEC. So instead of referring everybody as imply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I will use an imply array, and then on imply array itself, I can add the value of all the implies name or whatever value I want to store. Now to declare an array, no, before declaring an array, now there are basically two type of array here in PHP. So one array is called indexed array. Okay, so indexed array is where values are stored at a index like 0, 1, 2, 3. So the usual array that we have learned. So 0th position A is there, 1 position B is there, and then second position C is there. So that is our usual array, indexed array, where values are stored at a index. Now in PHP there is one more array which is called associative array. So associative array, every value is associated with a key. Okay, so like name and the value Ashish, age and then the value 20. So instead of storing at 0, 1, 2, we are storing at a key. So let us see this through example. So to declare an array, we use a function array. Okay. Now, if I only write $array equal to array, so it is a blank array. Okay. And to add into this blank array, I can use this operator and add any value. So like this. Okay, and then I can print. So for printing, I will use print underscore r. So this is for printing any expression in human readable form. So dollar. Okay, now let us see this. So this is an array where 0th position Anup is there and first position Ashish is there. So this is an index array because the values are being stored at a index. Okay, so this is an indexed array. Now next way of another way of declaring this is using an initialization. So $array equal to array, and in the bracket itself I can write the initial values. So I can declare with some initial values, and if I want to again add the values, I can use this and I have and so on. I can keep adding value to this. So I can keep adding values to this. So 0th position Anu, first position Ashish, second position Akshay, third position Anu. So this is our usual indexed array. Now, if I want to print individual values, So I can use the indexed approach also. So $array, and then whatever position I want to print. So suppose I want to print Akshat, so I will use 2 because 0, 1, 2. Second index it is there. So it will print Akshas. Again, if you want line break, then I will have to use BR. So I can print any value using the index, as well as I can directly print the array in a human readable form. We'll go for array in a bit while. So this is the indexed array. So where all the values are being stored at a index. Now we will move on to next associative array. Okay. So next question is, it is fixed size array or dynamic size array? So did you see me declaring the size anywhere? No. So it means that it is dynamic. So usually if I had put any size on this, like in like C++ or C, we put the size into the bigger bracket. So here we did not do it. It means that it is dynamic. We can keep adding as many elements as we want. Okay. So associative array. So $array equal to array, and then we will let me start with the usual method. So first I will declare a blank array, and then I will keep adding. So array, and then this time I cannot use this, the usual, because this will make it a indexed array. So I want to use key to store the values. So like a name, Anup. So in this way you can see that this is an associative array where each value is associated with a key. So what is name? What is Anu? It's a name. What is 30? It's a age. What is CDEC? It's a organization. So each value is associated with a key. So if I want to print this, I will use printer. Okay. Now let us see. So this is an array where name is Anup, age is 30, and organization is CDEC. Now you can see here clearly that it is not using any index. So it's not 0, 1, 2. So for even printing individual values, we should use the key. So $array and then the key. So what is the key? So like suppose I want to print age. So I will use the key age. So it is printing the value 30. So this is one way of declaring. associative array. And then another way is we can initialize then and there itself. So array equal to array, and inside this the way is writing name, this operator, and then the value, then comma, and then next is this operator and value like so this single line is equivalent to this 4 lines. So how do we write key value pairs? So all the first thing, all the key value pair will be write like this. So key and then the arrow operator equal to and greater than, and then the name, the value basically. So and then all key value pairs will be separated by a comma. Okay, so this is a key value pair which is separated by comma with the another key value pair. Then this is the third key value pair. Okay, so in this way the value is associated with a key. So this is called associative array. This time I will print organization. So same thing, name, age, organization, and this time I have printed the organization. So this is how you use a associative array. Now, so this is fine if we have few values. Okay, so like if we have 2-3 values, so I can use echo array 2, echo array 3, echo array 4. But if it is a bigger array, so we use any looping element. Okay, so like we can use for loop, we can use while loop, or we can use do while loop. So we can use this loops. Now we'll we'll start with this, how to print any values using the for loop. Okay, so for loop is also similar to your usual for loop in any other language. So for initialization condition, so for loop initialization condition, then a condition for break. So like this is less than. So the condition, so like if I have 4 elements, I will use 3 and $I plus plus, and then I can print using $echo and $array, sorry, $I. So index is $I, and to give a line break, or I can use BR. Okay, so one by one I am printing all the array values using this iterator $I, and then I am just giving a line break so that each value is printed in a new line. So let us print this. So Anup, Asi, success, all 3 values it has printed. Now So what next? So now one question is that we may not be knowing uh, how many elements are there. So currently I can see that there are 4 elements, but we may not be know that how many elements are there. So what should we do in that case? Okay, so I'll just show you. So one way is that I can use the same for loop, and I can write $I equal to 0. $I is less than count. Count is a function which will tell you how many elements are there in that array. And then okay, so this is our breaking condition, that the loop should maximum run till the count of array. So count gives you the number of elements um, in that array. So this is one method. So it will print all the values. So this is one method. Now next. So next method is using one for each. So for each, and then $array adds $single element. So for each means it will go through the array one by one and put the value in this variable single element. So I can write any variable here. I can write only $var itself. I can write $a itself. So only I mean to say is that this loop will go through the array one by one, and then all the values it will put into $a. So all I have to do is print echo $a. And then of course for line break I will use br. So how does for each works? So for each will iterate through the array, means go one by one to first element, second element, and copy that value to this variable $a. So first time the loop will run, it will go to the array and take the first value, and then it will assign it to $a. Once I print, Anup will be shown. Second time it will run, go to the next value, Ashish, assign it to $a. Again, since I am printing $a, Ashish will be printed, and so on. So one by one loop will run, and it's like my pointer will go from 0 to last element automatically. I don't have to count how many elements are there also. So this is the third way. So same value, since I have not changed anything. If I change the variable, then of course the content will final output will change. So Mayank is asking, sir, why we need to write dollar every time with a variable? Is there any alternative? No, it's how the language is. So with every variable, you have to write dollar. So this is how we print an indexed array. Now we will go on to associative array. How to print associative array. Tanvi is asking purpose of for each. So it is used for printing the value of an array without knowing the count. So I can use for loop also, or otherwise this is an alternative. I can use for each. So for each uh, goes through the array one by one and assigns the value inside $A, and then we print that $A, echo $A. That's all. Now we let us come back to this. Now let us come back to this associative array. So Himanshu is asking, can we access individual value in for each time loop run? We are already capturing individual value. How do you think it is printing all the values? So each value is captured and printed. But only thing is, for in each run, the variable is same. So earlier in the each run, the variable was different because $I was changing every time. $I, first time it was 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. But here it's the same variable. Okay, so now we have to print the uh, associative array. Now, so associative array, we will use only for each because there is no index so that I could say $I equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. So there are keys and all the keys are user defined. It's not like the key exists. So, so for each, so we will use for each dollar array as now. See, earlier there was a single value in the indexed array. There was only value like Anu, Pasis, Anu, Akshas, all are only values. This time we have key as well as value. So this time what we will do is we will change the array as dollar key and then dollar value. Okay, so in associative array there are key as well as there are value. So that's why this time in the for each loop we are breaking the array into key and value pair. Okay, and then how to print? So we'll write echo dollar key dot and some, suppose I write this colon and then dot dollar v, and then I can use br for line break. Okay, so this is an associative array. So there is key and value. So that's why this time in the for each loop, I am using dollar array as key and or arrow operator dollar v, and then printing echo dollar k and one separator colon and then the value. So let us see how does this print. So name Anu, age 30, organization CDEP. So we are printing both key and value. If you only want to print value, so only use dollar $v. So it will only print the values, Anoop 30 CDAC. But since this is not readable, usually we print both key and value. So name Anup, age 30, CDAC. So this is associative array. How to print an associative array? Now, next is no. For one question is that any way to give condition to for each? No. For each simply iterates through each value. It is not based on the condition. Condition was only used for breaking, that when the loop should break. So here there is no loop breaking. Automatically it will break. Next question is, sir, how to add one more person in associative? Sujit. Okay. Still I'm teaching. I have not finished it. So next part was multi-dimension array. So we already saw one single dimension array. Now is a multi-dimension array. Now multi-dimension array, you can combine indexed array as well as the associative array. Okay, so let me give you an example. So consider $imply equal to array name Anu designation video. Okay, so this is an array which I have declared for $imply. Suppose I write $imply 1 for first imply. Now I will simply repeat this. So imply 2, imply 3, imply 4, and I will change the okay. So these are my 4 implies, and all are associative array. You can see that this all are associative because I am specifying the key and value pair. Now all this array, what I will do is I will insert to a new array. So $array equal to array and then $array this equal to $imply 1, then $array equal to $imply 2. Okay, now so what I did was I created 4 individual variables which are basically an array, and then I added these 4 array into one another array. Now in this another array I am not using any key, I am directly adding. It means that this is an indexed array, but these all are associative array. From imply 1 to 4 are associative array, but this $ARR, it is not an associative array because I am not adding the values on a key, rather than I am adding on an index. Now first print it. So print underscore R. Now see, so this is an example of multi-dimension array. Okay, and you can see here that here the multi-dimension is the first dimension. I can say that the first dimension is 0, means indexed, but the second dimension is associative. So it is a combination of associative and indexed array in the multidimensional.
So can we have the output of on the screen, please?
Yeah, Raksha, one by one, let me show you. So now you can see that first part is an array, and on array's 0th element is another array, and this array is ending here. So 0th element, this is an array whose name is Anup and designation is PTO. Then again for this array itself, the first element is another array. So name Ashish, designation manager. Then the second element is another array. Then third element is finally the last array. So this is an example of multi-dimensional array where the first array is an indexed array. So 0th position some value is stored, 1th position some value is stored, and second position some value is stored, and so on. And on each position there is another array which is associative. Okay, so now let us print this. So we'll try to print the values one by one. Now in between, Raksha has a question that if we increase number of if we increase the number of key values pair and we want to access name whose value is Ashish. So let me show you here itself you can know. So suppose I want to access manager. Okay, so manager is implied 2. Manager is inside imply 2, and imply 2 is added at a position 0 and 1. Okay, so if I want to print manager, so $array. So let us trace like this. So manager is a basically designation. So one thing final is that I will use a designation here in the second dimension. Now first dimension, what should I use? So first dimension, I will just trace that imply 2 has been added at first position, 0 and 1, 0 and 1. So the first dimension will be 1. Done. So we just have to trace what is the either key. So like here for manager key is designation, or what is the index. So where implied 2 has been added. So that will form the first dimension value and second dimension value. So let us print this. This is manager. Now, so and in this way I can print anything. So if I want to print suppose baby, or I want to print access. Now, so first thing is I will print using array. So $array, and 2 dimension will be there because this is a 2-dimensional array. Now second dimension is fixed because Akshaj is a name. So I will write here name. Now for the first dimension, I will check that imply 4 has been added at what position. So here imply 4 has been added. It is 0, 1, 2, and 3. So I will write it here 3. So manager and Akshaj. So this is we can print individual values, but if we have to print all the values, then we will use for loop. Rather than deleting, I will comment it. Now, so for loop we will we usually for loop we will start from the external array, the first dimension. So first dimension is an indexed array. So I will use for each $array as $imply. So each value in the $array is an imply. So I'm using $array as a $imply. Now dollar imply I got, but dollar imply is again an array, but this time it is a associative array. So I will use again for each dollar imply as, and this associative array is in terms of key value pair. So I will use dollar key and value, and then I will write echo dollar k dot and sum separator dot dollar value v, and then for line break I will use br. Now to bifurcate each imply, so first imply will be printed using this for each. Second imply again we will go to the outer for loop. So I will write here simply echo imply details, and then I will add a br, and starting also I will add a br. In fact, I can okay. So basically I'm just writing imply details and then printing each and every value. So this is two-dimensional array. So if you remember in our usual C++ also, if there are two dimensions, you have to use two for loops, one for the outer, one for the inner. If you have three, you have to use X, Y, Z, three loops. So here similarly, I'm running a for each loop first on the external array and storing it as a dollar imply, and then on this dollar imply I am running another for each loop, and this is a associative array, so I am using key value pair. So dollar imply as k and v, dollar k and dollar v. Let us see what does this print. So imply detail name Anup, designation PTO. Then for next imply detail name Ashish, designation manager. Next imply detail name and designation, and so on. So this is how I can print a multi-dimensional array. So it's a associative array and it's a multi-dimensional. It's a associative array, and both have all the associative array have been combined into an indexed array. Now array is very important. Okay, so in array, if you see most we'll see later that most of the items are represented as an array. Okay, many inbuilt functions, their output will be in form of either an object or an array. So if you learn how to print an array or an object, then it will be very useful for you to use those functions. So that way this part is very important, how we can print individual values of an array, and later we will learn how to print individual values of an object. Okay, now array function. So array has many inbuilt functions. Okay, so let me go some by few of them. So first I will take an array. So array. So first function was count. So we already saw this. Count will tell you how many members are there in this array. So let us print this. So 5 members are there. Anyway, I did not need to print it. You could have seen yourself. There are 5 members. Next. Now next is array1 equal to array underscore unique, and then I will pass $array. So array unique removes any duplicate values. So like 1 is repeated, so it will remove that one value and it will return that into $array1. Now if I want to print this, so $array1, you can see that the second one has been removed. So array unique. Next is sort. So sort is for sorting the array in ascending order. So if I print, so if I print the sorted array, so 1, 1, 3, 4, 7, and 8. So it has printed 5 values in ascending order. Next is reverse sort. So reverse sort will simply change the order. So instead of ascending, it will become descending. So reverse sort prints the array in a descending order. So R sort. So you can see 8 has come first, 8, 7, 4, 3, and 1, 1. Okay. So array sum is for calculating the sum of the values of the array. So if you want to calculate the sum of the value of the array, you can use array sum. So 24, 15, 19, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so this is reverse sort. Next, dollar array 1 or dollar array 2 equal to array underscore reverse and dollar array. So it is basically to reverse the array. So 1, 4, 3, 7, 8, 1. So 1, 8, 7, 3, 4, 1. 1, 8, 7, 3, 4, 1. So this is for reversing the array. Okay, so these are the operations which we can do with an indexed array. Now let us check some of the features with a associative array. These are with indexed array. Now sum of the dollar array equal to Okay, so suppose this is our array, name, designation, and organization. Now we want to sort this array. Now sorting can be done in two ways, because here we have key as well as values. So I can sort using key, I can sort using values. So how do we do it? So so first is a sort. So a sort, it is for associative sort, and this will be done on the basis of values. And then let us print it. Okay, so Devyani is asking how to take user input for two-dimensional array in PHP. Now, Devyani, the most important part is that this PHP will be used as a server-side web programming language. So for any user input, you are only relying on forms. So user will only give anything using forms. Remaining for any two-dimensional array, three-dimensional array, mostly you will be using functions from where you will get these arrays, or like database, because database will be also in the form of row and columns, basically an array. So there only you will be using. So any user input we take using forms. So a sort is a associative array sort based on the values. Values. So A, Anup, A will come first, C dash C will come, and then P. So A, C, P in this order. So this is associative array. Next, reverse sort. So AR sort. So only ascending will change to descending. So P should come first, then C dash C, and then Anup A. So P, C, and then A. So this is sorting on the basis of value in a descending order. Now, next is K sort. So K sort is based on the key. So it will sort on the basis of the key. So keys are name, designation, and organization. So first will come D, designation, D is from alphabet, and then N, name, and then O, organization. So designation, name, and organization. Let us print it. So designation, name, and organization. So this is based on the key. The sorting is based on the key. Last is KR sort. So based on the key, but in reverse. Key reverse sort. So here it will reverse the order. So first organization should come, then name should come, and then designation should come. So first organization, then name, and then designation. Okay, so these all are some important functions related to array. Now let us go to array. Sorry, let's start with a string. So a string can be declared using either single quote or double quote. Okay, so both will be same. So either you use a single quote or double quote. Both will give you the a string only. So I can print var underscore dump $a and var underscore dump $b. Okay, so a string.php. So you can see that both are a string of 8 length, a string 1, and then a string of 8 length, a string 2. So both are a string, whether you declare it with using a single quote or double quote. Echo strlen. A strlen is for a string length. So a strlen is for getting the length of the string. So we use a strlen function. So 8. Then so a string underscore word underscore count. So basically it will tell you how many words are there inside a string. Okay, so this. Now suppose I change it to this is a string and then print it. Now there are 3 words. Okay, now the earlier case it was a string 1, so a string was a string but 1 was an integer. Next, so next one is reversing a string. So this is a string, so it has reversed the string. Ulta. This is for string reversal. strrev. Next, next one is a string position. So a string position is inside a string. So suppose inside b, $b, I am searching for is. Okay, so a string position is to find the position of this other string or character. I can write a single character also inside the $b. Now remember, currently in our this string there is this is and there is this is. So this will return the occurrence of the first string. So 2. So how 2? So 0th position and then h is at first position and then I is at second position. So once the first occurrence, it will return a string position Inside B, I have to search what I have to search, is, and then this is is at second position, 0, 1, 2. So this is a string position. Okay, so this is one thing. Next, a string replace. So inside a string,
Sir,
I
break
can,
time.
inside any string, I can replace any value. Okay, so like suppose, so you can see the format. First thing is search. So what has to be reversed, that I have to search. So suppose I want to change the word string. Okay. Second part is replace. So means what do I want to replace it with? So suppose I want to replace it with
Sir,
character.
sir, break time.
Just 1 minute. Character. And then finally, the subject, basically in where I have to replace. So $B. So a string replace. First, what I have to replace with what I have to replace. So basically I have to replace a string with character in $B. So I have to replace this in this variable. So let us print this. So this is a string, it has changed to this is character.